Well, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining us here at as Bizruption. As Dinesh said, it's number 6, and I might do what Dinesh did before, put the mic up. Something about me. As Dinesh said, I've built 10 companies in the last 30 years. Some have been fantastic companies, some have been absolute dogs. And believe it or not, every business we build is a shadow of ourselves. Every single one. If you want to grow in your business, it's time for you to grow. And use digital engagement to help you in that path. And I've got to say, NetStripes, they are the best in the business. I can say that from personal experience. I've been an uptaker of technology and innovation for the past 2 decades, when we used to have modems that ran on 64 bits a second and you'd wait for an hour to get an email out, using the bases of email and social media, and having worked in many industries, from finance to cafes, to construction to property development. I've done all sorts of business work, and working with Dinesh, it's a true testimony. They're a brilliant team. And from a strategy perspective, that's one of the things that's really important with the digital engagements, I'm sure you know. And as what Chris said was inspiring, where he spoke about the fact that, they made mistakes, but there are no mistakes. Because everything we do is purely a lesson in growth to take us forward into the next opportunity. So what's really interesting is, and I see this in groups that I speak with now, because I'm actually a human behavioural specialist. One of the things that I've actually done over the past 5 years or so is been studying human behaviours to why people do what they do, from a point of view of the masses, so that you can be a wolf in sheep's clothing when you're talking about your customers, but also in terms of your competitors and your staff. Why do your staff do what they do? Why do they keep performing those same habitual issues that they have each time? And it's all in behaviour. And what we find is with innovation, the same with, if I asked everyone to put their hands up, who would like to see change in the Australian economy? Pretty much everybody? Yep. Now the next question is who's willing to change? Yeah, that's the big key. Who's willing to change? Because if you want innovation, if you want digital engagement, if you want a world-class company, believe it or not, it's up to you changing and having a partner like NetStripes to help that change. Because they are the best in the industry. So if you consider, and some of you may have considered this already, a company that is the largest software company on the planet develops no software. Who would that be?
Freelance.
Apple. Who has the largest accommodation portfolio but owns no accommodation actual buildings or leases any accommodation space? Airbnb. Who owns the biggest, who operates the biggest rideshare taxi fleet on the planet and owns no taxis? Disruptors. Now we're all capable of this disruption if we're prepared to change and change our belief. And what's really interesting is that globally, we rank 17th globally. We are the worst in the OECD when it comes to innovation, believe it or not. And it's fantastic that you are the core, you are part of that change. The fact that you're part of a Bizruption event, the fact that you're here, the fact that you're taking the time from your busy schedules to entertain and be part of a networking event to look at how can we possibly innovate. So one of the things that's really interesting to consider is when we talk about what actually is it in our industry that's giving us pain, what are the pain points, and what would we like to change in those pain points, there's actually 7 items that to consider, and they're all based in fear. Fear dressed up as practicality. Fear dressed up as procrastination. And they are, am I going to upset a spiritual authority? Am I smart enough to pull this change off? Do I have enough money and resources to make it happen? Am I going to lose family and friends? Or am I physically capable of doing it? The key thing of innovation is to take the fear out of all your decision making and the fear out of your thought processes, to address those things and take them forward. So, It's interesting, Boston Consulting, a big global consulting group, has asked a number of global organisations around innovation and what is it in terms of a priority. And believe it or not, 22% is their number one priority. And if you consider the top 3 priorities within any of those organisations, 79% of companies see innovation as their priority. So, how do you actually foster a culture of innovation? It's very much important to take fear out of your people. To collaborate. I like to call collaboration co-opetition. Now, the ACCC might not agree with that, but I think it's a great way to work. Look at what others are doing in your industry, here locally and internationally. Look at how they're innovating in the industry. What problem am I going to solve? And of course, using technology to extend your reach. Exactly as Christopher's doing with the web, I put a photograph of a new cake and bingo, people walk through my door. Using the technology to extend your reach globally, which is what you're doing, which is brilliant. And of course, empowering your people and having a mission statement. Exactly as your corporate chef said, you need a mission statement. What do I need one of those for? If you don't set the intention of your business from the top, as they say, a fish rots from the head. A business will only grow to the extent you grow and to your people grows. And to act with speed. Act, refine. Think, act, refine, think. Continually act, continually refine, and continue thinking in a mastermind group within your business. Now, why is this important for you? It's proven. Small businesses that are fully digitally engaged earn $350,000 more a year. Now, is that something significant for your business? Yes? Yep. And how about the fact that you're growing 20% faster than your competitors by being digitally engaged? So there's a form that is very much worthwhile you completing on your desk. And it's actually a 60-second checkup to whether you are actually digitally engaged. Because what was really interesting with us as human beings is it's not necessarily what we know, it's what we know that isn't necessarily so. We don't know what we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know it. Okay? We don't know what we don't know, and we don't know that we don't know it. Hence the 60-second checkup. It's a really powerful document to go through and fill out, because what that does is it gives you an idea whether you really are truly digitally engaged. And digital engagement it's about strategy, and this is one of the key things that Dinesh and Dinesh's team at NetStripe does, is they are absolutely fantastic because of the corporate power that's behind the team and their thinking and where they've been, is that they think in terms of a global strategy for your business. They're thinking about who is your avatar? Who's the male and female person, as Christopher said? Who exactly am I dealing with? What do they look like? What do they want to eat? In your industry, in your business, who is it that you want to deal with? Remember that, and I'm sure you've heard it over and over again, 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your clients. Now, wouldn't you want all your clients to be that 20% and get rid of the 80 but keep the revenue? If you focus on your clients, and especially with a strategy, you're right. And it's, as I said, customer need. What does your customer need? What problem are you solving in their lives? That's the key. What service am I taking to industry? If you think about building a business, if you're building a business that serves an ever-increasing number of people with a product that serves their needs, you get to grow. And you get to grow 20% faster than your competitors. And you get to earn $350,000 more per annum as a small business. Is that something worthwhile doing? Yeah? So, what NetStripes does, and this is obviously an infomercial for NetStripes now, they build, it's not just about websites, it's about presence. They build an absolute presence for you. Typical things, SEO, social media, email marketing, but they're actually a digital presence disruptor. They bring the power of a corporate organisation into small business because of the systems and the processes and the reach that they've taken inside their business, which they can share with you. So, and what the great thing is, is innovation means that they can build you a corporate-like site with all that entails in in 2 to 4 weeks, a third of the cost. Now what I ask you to do is go onto the NetStripes website and go onto the Bizruption page. There's 2 fantastic resources, and these aren't small resources. This is one that's the digital manifesto. You'll actually see the picture on the page, and the other is the State of the Nation research. Really valuable resources for you to use and read and help you with innovation inside your business. And enjoy innovating, and thanks for joining us tonight.